IYKYK, which obviously YD. Okay?
Dutcher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Zone.
Same thing as we always do. Just tomorrow we'll look at the possessions that we have to get better at. I think, there was a lot of good there. As I said, it was 13 with 10 to go. We can learn how we got to that point, and then we can learn how to be better in those situations. So it's the same process. Look at those possessions and get better, get ready for the next one.
The Celtics take on the 76ers in Philadelphia tonight at 8 o'clock. You'll be able to hear that right here on our radio station. Guess what get-in price for the game is?
I'm going to say 300.
No, it's a cool number.
Oh, sorry.
$69.
Boom.
Oh. That's all it is?
Yeah, you get screwed.
Oh, my God.
But get-in price is $69, which is higher than Atlanta where it's $63 or Minnesota where it's $55.
Unbelievable.
But nonetheless, that's going on. The Knicks play the Hawks, and they could end that series tonight. Kevin O'Connor covers the NBA for Yahoo Sports. He joins us. Kevin, hello.
How are you guys doing today? $69, pretty nice, right?
Hell yeah! Hey. We love it. Is this the outcome of this game in any doubt for you tonight? This Celtics game, based on what happened the other night.
Not really. I'd be kind of shocked if the Celtics lose this series. I mean, they had a poor shooting night, and everybody knows watching this team how reliant they are on the three-pointer. 27-0 this season when they shoot 40% or higher from three, 41-6 when they shoot 35% or higher, 15-20 during the season, under 35%. And that's 3-0 in the postseason, 0-2 when they don't. I just don't think they're going to have two more poor shooting nights. I think you're going to see adjustments from Missoula to get a little bit more going, a little bit more flow in the half-court offense, because they're very stagnant in that game 5 against Philadelphia. So I'd expect some adjustments there to get more quality shots in the half court.
Okay, what are they going to have to do adjustment-wise defensively? Because Embiid seemed to have found something specifically in this last game, and they're going to have to change something.
I definitely think, look, Embiid, that game 4, he comes back. It felt like the floor of the Sixers. Embiid slowed down their flow offensively. They looked more stagnant early in the game. Maxey and Edgecombe were trying to get Embiid shots, and he seemed very rusty. Game 5, it felt more like earlier in the series, but with Joel Embiid on top of it, playing like a former MVP. So I think with the Philadelphia 76ers, that in large part had to do with just Embiid game 4 warm-up, game 5 returning to his norm. To me, I look at it on the other end of the floor, honestly. I think they need to figure out ways to wear out Embiid and tire him out, because in game 5, the Sixers played Embiid very low. He dropped low in pick-and-roll coverages. He stayed as close to the rim as much as possible. And for the Celtics, that led to an inability to get quality catch-and-shoot three-point opportunities. They had only 20 in Game 5. That's a series low. Their season average was 27 as well. Game 1, they had 25. Game 2, 38. Game 3, 33. Game 4, 33. Only 20 in Game 5, and that's in part because of the lack of penetration they were getting into the paint and their inability to pull Embiid away from the paint. And so I think if you can get those catch and shoot three-point opportunities, pull Embiid out of the paint, maybe with more dribble handoff actions involving Vooch, involving Keita, wear him out, and then that influences his ability to sustain success on the offensive end of the floor. Because it felt like, to me, he was able to conserve a little bit more energy on the defensive end in Game 5, not playing out on the perimeter as much as he did in Game 4, when he seemed, frankly, exhausted and out of shape, it seemed like in Game 4.
Does that mean less of Keita and more of Vucevic, who is a legit three-point threat?
Maybe. I mean, they did a good job defending those Vooch pick and pops. They were using some switches to contain those, but I do think it could mean more Vooch, pull him out as much as possible, but like, you know what that means? Like, Keita is the better defender. So if you're talking about trying to improve the defense, it's a push-pull between those two actions. I just think the Celtics, with Keita on the floor, that's when they're likely at their best, unless it's one of those just super hot Vooch three-point shooting nights in which Embiid is forced to close out hard on him and not sag off and live with the consequences of him making those shots. But I do think it could mean more Vooch, to your point.
And more along the lines of defending Embiid, where they clear out a side and then everyone spots up for a three on the weak side. Do you see more doubling of him in the low post?
I would think so, maybe. I mean, with like Joel Embiid, he looked like an MVP in Game 5, and Game 4 he looked like a guy coming back from an extended absence. And so, like, what version of Embiid are you going to get now on short rest? That's a big question, I think, for the Philly side of things. But I mean, also part of it is just like winning your matchups. I think like we can talk about Embiid trying to win that matchup, but it's also Jaylen Brown versus Paul George. Paul George pretty much defended Jaylen Brown one-on-one the entire night, and it looked like an all-D defender. He looked sensational defending Jaylen Brown, making things hard on him. So can they win those individual one-on-ones? Can they win in a 2-on-2, pick and roll situation, which they didn't in Game 5 with Embiid playing low? It led to less catch and shoot opportunities. It led to more pull-up threes by Tatum, which he's been quite inefficient at during this series. So can you win those individual matchups if the Sixers are going to have Embiid play low in pick and roll coverage, if they're going to stay home on shooters, be a little bit more tighter on those closeouts, not giving as much airspace, not helping as much? I think those are going to be kind of the mini battles that determine if this is forced to a Game 7 or not. But at the end of the day, like with Boston, they do really embody the live by the three, die by the three. And we have seen that time and time again with them all season long, basically the entire Joe Mazzulla era. So it might just simply come down to that more than anything else that we might talk about.
What's going on with Derek White? Why is he not playing so well, shooting so well, and everything else?
I've tried to figure this out. I'm not exactly 100% certain what it is, but I think with White, when he first got to Boston from San Antonio, he was a very streaky shooter. And he talked about the empowerment he got from the coaching staff just to let it fly. And that was different than what it was in San Antonio, where it was like they wanted him, he had a bit of a leash. And that, I think, got into his head. I think White has been very open about the mental side of shooting. Well, this year is his first full year in Boston where he had a lot more responsibility on his plate. He's running more pick and roll, ball in his hands more often, more off the dribble, less off the catch, different role. I think something got mixed up in his mind. I don't think it's anything mechanical. I think it's something mental, and that can be even more worrisome with a guy like White, who's talked about that in the past as a source of his inconsistencies with San Antonio. And so I've been worried about this all year with the Celtics because he's obviously elite as a connective piece, elite as a defensive player and as a hustle player, but he is so vital still as a three-point shooter, and that opening things up for him and for the rest of the team. And if he's going to continue being a 30%-ish shooter from three on a lot of, pretty quality opportunities, that definitely hurts Boston's offense and plays into this swinging variance we're talking about with them, where they have these super hot shooting nights and then these nights where they just go ice cold. Part of that is because of Derek White and his inability to actually find any consistency at all.
They've been, I would say, consistent at the start of these last couple of games, and that the starters have not played well. And I'm probably giving too much attention and putting too much importance on, first quarter scoring or even first half scoring. But I still think, Kevin, that it sets this tone or this precedent that the bench is going to have to come in and perform, and you can't expect them to do that throughout the entirety of the game because they're not going to be out there. So it says, all right, we need you guys to come in and kind of bail us out a little bit here at the start, assuming that the starters will find their game in the second half like they did 2 games ago. So is it important for the starters to have a good shooting night from the jump tonight? To me, I just want to see it to see how it would look. Maybe get out in front and hold the lead for a change. How about that?
Yeah, I'd say that's pivotal in this game. I mean, like, obviously Pritchard is capable of going off for 30, and Vooch could have a good night off the bench. I mean, you can have your nights from a Baylor, Shireman, and all that too. Like, Boston has guys who can help you off the bench, but ideally, like, it touches on what I said earlier, winning those battles within the game. Tatum in pick and roll situations with Embiid playing low, can he catch fire as a shooter off the dribble from 3 or from mid-range? Can Jaylen Brown win his one-on-one opportunities against Paul George, who really bottled him up in game 5. And so like those situations I think are critically important, on top of, can Sam Hauser get some good quality opportunities to get hot? Can you get Derek White to actually have a good shooting night and not another 0 for 4? I think those things obviously alleviate the pressure off of Boston's bench to have to make up for the slack of the starting lineup.
That's great information about Derek White, by the way. All right, so the Knicks play Atlanta with a chance to seal that up. How are the Knicks looking to you?
They look like they fixed themselves. I mean, I think during the season I was temporarily out on New York. They just felt like a team that didn't like each other, had no chemistry. It had all fallen apart from the good vibes Knicks we saw the year prior. This series, I think first round, they found their flow again. I think they feel like a team that is now back to that character we saw last year, on top of the fact they've just figured out what works with their offense. They've put the ball into Karl Anthony Towns' hands. He's facilitating more from the middle of the floor. Jalen Brunson is not just on ball, dribble the air out of the ball. He's setting screens off ball, flaring out for 3-pointers, cutting to the rim. They feel like an offense that just has more layers and more dynamics to it, which is what you want to see from the Celtics tonight in game 6, by the way, not just catch and shoot opportunities, not just dribble. The Knicks look better, and then Karl Anthony Towns on top of that is playing some of the best defense of his entire life. And Cat, I mean, look, like people make fun of him for a lot of different reasons, but he's looking like a playoff riser in some ways. He had the series of his life a few years ago when the Wolves beat Jokic and the Nuggets, and he was defending him primarily in that series, and he's looking really good against Atlanta too, really hustling on defense, defending all over the floor, on top of being a real focal point, a playmaking hub for them in the elbow area.
We've read a couple of reports in the last couple of weeks about the pressure that James Dolan is putting on this year's edition of the Knicks. Have you heard similar things, that Dolan's willing to get rid of some people if they don't make the NBA Finals this year?
Yeah, I mean, I know Sam Amick reported that over at The Athletic. I haven't heard specifically personally that Mike Brown is indeed on the hot seat, with him having this is his first year under contract. It wasn't even a year ago Tom Thibodeau was fired. I personally have not heard that. However, it wouldn't surprise me if the Knicks are ramping up the pressure here. I thought the timing of that report was a little strange because it came the morning after game 4, in which Mike Brown made some really good adjustments in that game. It's just some of them were like, well, wait a minute. Why did it take till game 4 of the postseason to do this? Why did this not happen back in October at the start of the year for some of these things he implemented, especially regarding Cat getting the ball in his hands more often as a focal point? So I do think there's definitely pressure, but firing Mike Brown, if he even made the finals but lost, as Amick had reported, that seems a little extreme to me. But I do think there's definitely pressure on the Knicks, their head coaching staff, and the players to get beyond the first or second round, because this roster has too much talent, too much of a financial investment into it, and they've been together too many years. It's not like chemistry should be an excuse. So I do think the Knicks, heading into, assuming they finish off the Hawks, assuming the Celtics finish off the Sixers, I do think there is indeed pressure for them to get over the hump and beat Boston next round, or else there could be big changes.
Finally, Kevin, I don't know if you're intimately familiar with the worst series of all time, but the Pistons played the Magic last night. Both teams managed to get into the hundreds. When I turned it on early, they were taking a nice break reviewing if Thompson kneed a guy while he was on the ground and moved him an inch. So that required 5 minutes of video review, which was just...
you also are a big fan of the long 10-minute reviews?
I mean, I love it, especially in the regular season when it doesn't matter. It's a lot of fun just to see people milling about for 5 minutes.
But I also enjoy it taking the flow away from a playoff game. So I appreciate
it.
And
then the announcer looks into the camera and gets his TV time and milks it out, right? And gets as much time as he can. Puts on a show. That's what we're all there to see.
It's funny because you would think that these guys were all these frail, like, pacifists by the way that there's no other sport, including baseball, by the way, that takes into such great account any kind of physical touch. Like the way they are so afraid of like any kind of fighting is just, or they got to get this under control. Like, what did he do? He stepped into a guy while he was on the floor. Like, I mean, you're going to review this for 4 hours? They didn't even doing anything. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't like this series. It's been really bad. But the Pistons, like heroes, won at home. And this goes to 3-2. They'd be coming back from 3-1. They are the number 1 seed. So I'm just going to ask you, do you think the Pistons can win this series? And if they do, is there any chance of them maneuvering throughout the playoffs?
I do think they can win this series. I mean, the Magic are the 8th seed for a reason. They also don't have Franz Wagner, who was the key to bottling up Cade Cunningham through the games 2, 3, and 4. He made life hard on him. Like, Cade really struggled. He had the most turnovers in a 3-game playoff stretch of any player ever in playoff history. And a lot of that was due to Franz Wagner defending him one-on-one, not just the help defense that Orlando was providing back in the paint. So I do think the Pistons are capable of providing having a 3-1 comeback. I feel better about their chances than I do about the Sixers. I feel better about that than the Rockets and even over Denver. I like their chances against the Magic without Franz Wagner. But if Franz comes back, I don't think you can trust Cade Cunningham to have another super efficient 45-point game, and for Tobias Harris to have another strong shooting night from mid-range with a ton of pull-up opportunities, getting 23 points. I don't think you can bank on that if you're Detroit, which is why all year long I've said the Pistons are phonies. I don't think this team has enough shooting. I don't think they have enough creation alongside Cade Cunningham, and I think the Magic have exposed a lot of those flaws in the first round, which is why it's been so hard on Detroit. And I think if Detroit does get through Orlando, I think they'll lose next round in all likelihood.
Yeah.
If they don't lose next round, they're definitely not going to make it to the NBA Finals through whether it's Boston or New York in the East Finals.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing how that all came to roost, all that scoring problems and all those shooting problems. They only have one guy that can score on that team. All right, Kevin O'Connor, thank you so much for the time. Read him in Yahoo Sports. He's the best. All about the NBA. Kevin, thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your morning.
All right, you do the same. All right, we got a lot of emails today.
I don't like that phony word. He's going to end up with his thumbs broken. He keeps calling people phonies.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Caulfield. Why don't you focus more on the other books?
That's a Seinfeld reference.
I don't know.
Come on.
Oh, with
Mike Moffat.
Yeah, when they're out with the car.
He thinks you're a phony.
Yeah, when he gets his thumbs broken in the...
Yeah.
All right, I thought you were going back to your Salinger.
Oh, yeah.
Your Salinger.
The literary references. No.
Well, it's all literary, really. It's all narrative. We got a lot of emails today, actually. A lot of good topics with the infidelity and the stupid Jordan Hudson. So there's a lot of fun things to talk about.
I got some Blind Scott emails, too.
Oh, cool.
You got some? It's almost like he's going through an incredibly manic phase. It's a lot. But I would suggest not reading them during this phase. But we will be back in just a moment.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, everybody. We are Toucher and Hardy. It's easy to email us. You can email us. Find our emails on the website, 985thesportshub.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Toucher and Hardy. You can follow Hardy on Twitter and Instagram at Hardy985. He's tweeting all the time in real time, all his thoughts as they come to him throughout the day and night. They need to be told. A friend I was with yesterday, they go, yeah, I haven't posted anything ever. I never got a Twitter account, and I haven't posted on Instagram since like 2023. And I went, that's kind of cool. And they're like, there's nothing to say.
They cut it with seed oil.
And I said, it's the best. You have the best self-awareness of anyone I've ever met.
No seed oils at all.
There's nothing to say. That's right. There is nothing to say. Stop saying everything all the time. I did it too, but
I did. I look back on my Twitter feed from like years ago. And I did it once recently, and I said, oh, I was just tweeting things every once in a while. Not a lot. I was never like a big tweeter, but I would tweet when I just thought I had something to say. And why?
Yeah.
Why did I do that?
I never...
What Jon Stewart said this he said this 15 years ago about Twitter. He said, it's the digital Macarena. Everybody's doing it, And not long from now, we're all going to look back and think, why were we doing that?
There was never a tweet that I ever put up in the history of Twitter that did anything but bad. Like, it was either 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, it was just it fell into an ether of not having to have been said. And the other 0.1% is it was something awful that got me in trouble.
Yeah.
So, no. I never put anything on Twitter where I was like, here you go. Again,
Yeah,
I think
you're welcome.
Yeah, like where I was like, I'm really proud of that. That was really funny and well timed and needed to be said. The only thing, Dad Boner, really is the only guy who took Twitter and used it in a like uniquely narrative comedic way, and then after that, it's like no, because Neil Hamburger had a funny one too, but it was just that he put hashtags of random companies like under like things. I don't know. I don't understand why anyone would still be on that. The Toucher and Hardy email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. You've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all sevens at 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com. We were talking about Jordan and Bill, and Aaron says, Jordan, the primary term for sexual attraction to elderly people is gerontophilia.
Huh.
Geriatrics, so gerontophilia? I don't know. When this attraction is specifically focused on signs of aging, such as wrinkled skin, it's sometimes referred to as riptophilia, which is a fetish for wrinkles. She likes old balls. Gross. That's from Aaron. I wonder if they pick it in front of facelift places. Let it ride. Or they put their mates in like extra gravity chambers. Like
You're not
real
sagging
wrinkly.
enough.
Like, you know how guys who like fat chicks, like we had an audio of one of them where they like fed the lady like all the time to keep her fat. She was, remember that lady? It was so funny.
Even if they're fat.
That's right, Al. But she was like on the internet or something getting paid. And this guy like was feeding her. And it's just like, I like them old. Yeah. Tie some weights to it. This is from a lady, so I got all excited. It's from a lady named Lexi. It says, Jordan fiance, hi, I'm almost positive they are engaged based on her current Instagram post. And now I don't follow her on Instagram. But perhaps we had been hearing from good sources that she was getting married to him last December, and that didn't happen. So now I question everything that I hear about the two of those things. And again, we were talking about the Boston Magazine weird cover of Vrabel as one of the two Bostonians of the most influential Bostonians. Mm-hmm. A poorly timed cover, and we were talking about how weird it looks. It doesn't look like they took a picture of him. And then we found someone is claiming, Scott says, we've read this before, but I'll just say it again. Greg Stefanos, Maria's husband, painted this photo.
It's Dale. Dale Stefanos.
And he called into Beetle and Zoe yesterday, I guess, to kind of luxuriate in his success.
Well, apparently he's a very accomplished artist, and he did the Betty White stamp. And I went and looked at, he is a very accomplished artist, and he did a painting of Betty White that...
No, I'd masturbated to that, yes. Indeed.
Yeah, look at it, Fred. It's
but I don't know why both nipples are out. No. It would seem like you would just have a hint of one if it was real Betty White.
I don't understand that type of painting. I guess it's so
erotic.
No, not the Betty White one. The Vrabel and Drake May one.
Yeah, just take a picture, make it worse, and go, I painted it.
But it's obviously realism. It's Norman Rockwell-esque, but it said it took him 40 hours to
Give me the
that.
Copper Tone ad.
40 hours to complete that painting.
Jeez.
And you said he stinks.
No, I was kidding. I was kidding just because he called in. I don't think it stinks.
You know what?
I thought it was a
words
photo.
hurt and harm. You have a chance to make it right now. Will you do it?
No.
Yes, I don't think you stink, Mr. Stefanos. I think that you're a good guy, and that I was just playing around because it was the cover.
Wow.
It was funny to say.
I'd have bet money he wouldn't have done this.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want the guy to feel bad. I don't really think it stinks. I'm kidding. It was just something to say that was funny. If he was ever to take offense to that, I'd feel bad. No, I didn't mean that.
All right, here's an email. As we had Isaac on the show earlier today.
Did we ever?
Celebrating his internship on Fox and Friends.
He got to do the news in front of the president.
He got to do the weather, Fred.
Yeah. But he wants to do the news.
Well, he wants to be a commentator.
Cooler temps for much of the West.
That's his mom taping it on her iPhone.
He wants to be a political pundit.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's not how he said it, but okay, if you want to put words in the kid's mouth.
Somebody asked, where is the love for Tyler Milliken's cousin? Oh. He was an intern too, you dingus. He even wore a massive cross. He's probably interning at someplace much cooler than Fox News like InfoWars now. He had charisma.
Go ahead, yes.
No, he was, we all enjoyed his presence. And then there was that weird phone call out of nowhere. Do you remember that? Like 6 months after he was here?
I mean, he bombed on a phone call, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, but I mean, it just, I don't know if it soured it. It just, we haven't spoken of him since.
It didn't sour it for me. I mean, yeah, he had like a real clunker of like a phone call that was supposed to be funny, and then it wasn't. But I mean,
the songs were unforgettable. The Jason Tatum song.
Well, they took us through the very beginnings of this show. I mean, he was a big content creator for us. It was even before we had Adam.
He was creating content even not when asked. Pay attention, future interns. Just bring something to the show without us having us ask you to do it. That'd be fantastic.
This is an interesting email from Matthew. He says, cheering Patriots. Vrabel got cheered by the season ticket holders, and if the guy was there too, I would applaud. I mean, the guy's going through a tough time. He didn't do anything to us or as a society. He just had an affair. It's fun. It's funny to talk about because they denied it, but ultimately, I mean, he didn't hurt anyone. Why shouldn't they give him a round of applause? Like, what should they boo him? They're not married to him. That's like a ridiculous notion. And I guarantee you people are going to be like, I can't believe they cheered him. Like, what do you want him to do? What are you going to yell at him because he cheated on his wife? What the hell does that matter to you? It's just funny that they denied it, and now all this stuff's coming out, like mixtapes and stuff. I mean, but it ultimately doesn't affect your life in any way. I mean, if you're a fan of the Patriots, it shouldn't affect that at all. Obviously, it sounds even dumb to say, but here we are. We're in 2026. This is interesting if true. I was part of the original jury pool for Aaron Hernandez's murder trial, and some people cheered when he was introduced. Some Boston sports fans are just effing idiots. See, that's different in that and I know that's what Matthew's saying. That's different in that Aaron Hernandez was murdering people. And secretly gay. But he was murdering people, which is bad for society.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel having an extramarital affair is of no effect on any of us as a people.
Watch him slam dunk for an A1. JT is number one.
And that's the song that set him off because you knew he had no musical talent or training. That was the one.
Watch him slam dunk for an A1. JT is number one.
Why even force in and one so you can not rhyme it with one?
People always told him, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking Reggie's heart.
Who's Reggie?
I guess because Reggie Miller was doing the...
No, that can't be it.
I think it was.
What year was this?
2 years ago.
All right.
Don't go around breaking Dave Bing's heart. Get it? Don't go around breaking Bob Lanier's heart. Ooh, well, get it?
Reggie's still on the sidelines. Pritchard was mugging it up with Reggie Miller all game long.
Still there.
Yeah.
Well, Pritchard's a camera hog. All little.
Yeah, he was really jawing at him in that game.
No, he's got a lot of sass.
Reggie's heart, maybe because they were playing the Pacers at the time.
Well, I can't remember.
In the Eastern Conference Finals?
Of course. I mean, we all
maybe that's what it is.
Yes, of course. It's like it should be at the top of everyone's mind. I think Pritchard's got a rude tude. I'd go so far as to say. He's got sass. Anywho, we'll be back in just a moment.
Celtics will dance
and we'll finish
on the floor in the finals.
The show.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hi. We are Toucher and Hardy. There was a way too early mock draft that's out, by the way, and Arch Manning's going number 1 to the Cardinals.
It's put up by Jordan Reed of ESPN, and I just looked. The draft order is the inverse of the odds currently on DraftKings. So apparently they have the Rams as the favorite to win because they have the Rams and Buffalo making the last 2 picks, and the Patriots are picking 25th in this way too early mock draft. But they have Arizona at 1 and Arch Manning going number 1.
But you get Nick Marsh, who played at Michigan State and then got out of there to go play to the front runner kid.
That's right. Going to the Patriots as a wide receiver.
He's going to Indiana is this year, so he's a front runner.
Yeah.
But I was telling John, we've done this exercise on the air. There's ESPN's pretty good about keeping them up too. Like you can look at old, way too early mock drafts, and it's amazing. Some years, like 20 kids will not only not be first rounders, but a lot of them like not even getting drafted.
And the easiest 2, and Fred brought up Carson Beck. He's 1, and that kid Nussmeier from LSU is supposed to be a top 3 pick. He's another that way too early mock drafts had them right at the top.
Well, I mean, Aller from Penn State at one point was considered a number 1 overall pick. Mendoza never was. Interesting. Cam Ward never was until the draft, until before that process. I mean, with quarterbacks, it really comes down to obviously your performance that last season, heading into a tremendous amount of pressure. It's not like that in other sports, really. Like you could, if DeBonza went into BYU and was just okay, he still would have been a top 5 pick, right? Like look, I mean Peterson from Kansas. I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
He could still go number 1.
And he
was all up and down with weird injuries and lack of confidence, and he could still go number 1 in the draft. But if you're a quarterback, holy moly.
It's all over the place.
Like you only got that handful of games to prove yourself.
This draft apparently has 10 or 11 kids that could get drafted in the top 4 rounds.
So that should probably be whittled down to about 3.
By the time we get there, yeah, probably.
Especially with NIL. But they're looking to make an age. John sent us something. They're looking to, which makes all the sense in the world and should be implemented immediately.
The NCAA is looking at a model where you get 5 years of college. If you have injuries, great. If you transfer, great. You get 5 years, and your clock starts when you graduate high school or you turn 19 years old. That's it. Yep. Whichever is earliest.
So all these other exceptions in years and bridge gap years, you red shirt. Nope.
5 years. That's it.
Yeah, Trinidad Chamblis or whatever is.
I think this is year 6 for him,
and he's like got this magazine shoot that he just did about how brilliant he is for taking more money to play college football than he does would have gotten as a 2nd-round pick in the NFL for 2 years, and it's nonsense. Like if he's staying in college because he's going to be a mediocre pro player. There's no point in college football anymore. It's just the USFL. It's Canadian Football League. You want kids on the up that played for 4 years, 5 maybe nowadays. But this idea of him, and there was a kid that was like 30 years old playing at Miami. I believe he was in his 8th season because of COVID.
Yeah. And in college basketball, I ran into more than one of those where you are 6, 7, 8 years because he tore the guy in question tore his ACL in back-to-back seasons.
And it's like if you're coming out of high schools and there's like 18 losers that are 26 sitting around, like there's no pumping in new talent.
And you have 26-year-old men playing 18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Oh, you got guys that were in the G League playing in the...
that's a new thing, too. Right.
Yeah, there's back to college.
There's like no restriction. It's just, then you're just making college sports a worse pro sport.
Right.
Which is we already have with the revolution in that old ilk of soccer.
By the way, today could be the day where the announcement becomes official to LIV golfers that it's all done.
Oh,
and this has been going on for a couple of weeks, and a bunch of players have reached out already like, hey, can we come back to the PGA Tour now? Like, oh, you're waiting until this thing absolutely folds. The PGA Tour is saying, you know what? We made some exceptions for guys like Brooks Koepka. They only had to pay back, tens of millions of dollars and have to sit around as a second qualifier like he is for this week's tournament. For you guys, it's going to be even tougher, especially all of you in that antitrust lawsuit, Ian Poulter, Bryson DeChambeau, guys like that. No, not going to be so easy for you. You can't wait literally until the day when they email you and say, the league is no more. We're bored with you, to say you now want to come back to the PGA Tour.
Well, what about the Ham and Eggers who, I need a paycheck. They're offering me money. I'm going to go. Are they still got to make it hard on those guys?
Probably.
Oh, man.
So what, the Saudis just got sick of it?
Yeah, they're saying it doesn't make money. Like, no kidding.
Well, I don't think that was ever the intention.
I don't think it was either, but they dumped $5 billion into it, and then they got bored, and now they're trying to get private equity guys to rescue the league and keep it a thing. Like, how? Well, like, private equity guys generally aren't stupid.
I thought you were sports washing. Well, what do you need the private equity to sports wash for?
And if you're good at money, how do you look at this and see it as a money-making venture?
Yeah, it's JV crappy golf with DJs.
Well, team golf. They're committed to the team golf aspect of LIV.
Do they still have fun DJs creating a party-like atmosphere?
Yeah, dude.
Because that's what golf was missing.
Yeah.
Was a DJ. It's like, hey, we hired a wedding DJ to come here. Oh, wow, now I'll go. I was never going to go to the golf tournament and stand around for 8 hours.
But these guys can wear shorts. Oh.
I do like a calf. I do like a well-shaped calf. All right. That'll do it for us.
That's a very nice blouse you're wearing, Scott.
It's summer. Thank you. It's a summer blouse.
It is. I got on vacation.
Hey, listen, how much it cost you?
It didn't cost me anything.
It says breezy over the left nipple area.
It's like Joe Breezy used to be here, right?
That's right. All right, Scotty Z. Scotty.
Freddie T.
There you go. Zolak and Bertrand.
Walk, you were late today, huh? Heard that early.
Not late, but later than usual.
That was a good open, boys. Like that.
Yeah. Hardy was suffering no fools. He did not like that. Well, I still was before me, but still late for him.
What's he really got to prep for?
Too close to, I don't know. He's got to type out that stupid headline. No one
their first headline of the day.
If no one's wasted more time on doing something that no one cares about since opera.
Hardy's back and forth with Nick. That was funny, too.
I don't remember that, but whatever.
You were right. Nobody really says anything back to Nick.
No. All right. That'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Bye.